Adesina Koiki here at Madison Square Garden for Big East Men's and Women's Basketball Media Day, joined now by Dave Leitao, the head coach of the DePaul's Blue Demons men's basketball team. And first of all, Coach, thank you so very much for joining us. Every year at this time, hope springs eternal. Really quick, how is your team looking as you're just less than a month away from beginning the 2017 season?
Yeah, it's still really early, and because we're so youthful, we have 8 new people to kind of get integrated into our system. It's not as productive as I want it to be, but I'm fine with that. I think the good thing about it is it's very enthusiastic. I think there's a lot of guys that will contribute in a lot of different ways, and so it's just a matter of time that we can put our system in, and that they'll understand it, they'll grab a hold of it, and then excel in it.
What is the system at DePaul University under you?
Well, my history comes from playing defense, and that's how I learned this game, and that's how I learned how you have to be successful. So, to defend and rebound is a challenge for us each and every day. It's not something that they do naturally. I don't think anybody wakes up at youthful enthusiasm to say, hey, I'm going to be a great defender, but we're trying to teach that every single day. And then, for me, is freedom offensively. I like to give guys different positions to play, so there's as many multi-positional people as we can have on the floor at one time is better for us. And then, having them play with great confidence is a part of playing good offense.
Billy Garrett, in his second year under you, he's been at the university for a while, knows the ins and outs of DePaul University. How do you incorporate into what you were trying to teach him last year, and what do you see from Billy Garrett in his senior year?
Well, it was a huge adjustment for him because of the voice, my voice versus someone else's that coached him previously, and so it's a different understanding of what is important for him. I think he did a very good and admirable job at understanding what I want and try to give that message as a leader to the other guys in the locker room. And so we're going to continue to ask that from him, but hopefully I can get him in a place on the court that gives him a little bit more success, and that's just not team success, that's individual. And he's obviously a very important part to our team, but he's got a lot of versatility, as I mentioned before, that we need. And so getting him off the ball, having him think about being a scorer more than he has before is something that we're going to try to do with him.
It seems as if, and maybe I'm wrong just looking on the outside, that this team may be more backcourt oriented in the sense that you have Billy and you have Eli Kane, who did such a great job shooting the ball. How was Eli's adjustment to college basketball, and what do you see from him here in the sophomore year?
Yeah, he's a unique talent because he came, virtually unnoticed into this league and averaged double figures, 10 points, a little over 10 points as a freshman. And so, now there's not going to be a surprise when he comes on the court. The people will gear up to try to stop him. And I've talked about it with him all spring and all summer about getting better in different areas of the game. And so he's improved his shooting since the day he's jumped on campus immensely. He's become a very trusted shooter by me. And now it's understanding, the other elements of the game, the post-up part of it, because he's got great size, his mid-range, and then obviously finishing at the rim, which he did a really good job at last year. But more than anything, it's a different mentality that he's got to bring to us.
Who are the players in the front court you're really looking to in terms of filling some of the holes that you have in the front court?
Yeah, we've got to put some new people in there. Obviously, we have a junior college transfer in Trey McCallum, who is a very energetic player. He's a very good rebounder, a very, very good athlete, and who brings a decent amount of skill with him. And so he's a guy that we're going to play a lot of places. We'll play him at the 3, we'll play him at the 4, we'll play him at the 5 at 6'6", 6'7". So I expect a lot out of him, and particularly because he's been around for a couple of years, at least from out of high school. And then we'll kind of rotate a lot of centers. 2 freshmen, Al Eichelberger he's got a unique name, but he's a very, very nice young man who's big and got a good wide base. And we got to get him through the freshman, part of it with foul trouble and all those things. And Levi Cook is another big guy that we have at 6'10", about 285, and so those two, along with one of our walk-ons quite admirably, that's somebody that we played a lot last year, Peter Rickbosch, who will, once he gets back from injury, I'll have those 3 guys that I can rotate at the 5 spot, and then I can play small even from there.
What are the advantages of being back in Chicago and in the Chicago area in terms of either recruiting, or what are the advantages of being back at a place where you were a head coach before, not just at the school, but in the city?
You mean other than good restaurants, right?
Other than that, yes. Deep dish and a lot of other good things in Chicago.
Yeah, it's really good. Anytime you have an opportunity to go back to a place, you can get past all of the things that being a new coach would bring about. Knowing the people, knowing places places to go, places to not go, where the landmines are, the dynamics and the politics of any university or any city. So I think the familiarity that I have with the city or the school and they have with me makes it a lot. I can't ever say easier, but it makes it a lot smoother to go about your business and then understand the landscape of recruiting, both in Chicago or throughout the state and the region. I think, gives me an opportunity to be believable more than a guy that can come in that nobody knows.
Are you a Cubs fan?
I am now. Yeah, I didn't grow up in Chicago, so I didn't grow up with the Cubs, but they're 2 train stops from us, and since last year, I think they've done a marvelous job, of putting this team together. And so, I want to be one of the guys that says that I was there in Chicago when they broke the curse.
Yeah. Oh, man, that'd be amazing. Thank you so very much, Coach Leitao. Best of luck and success to you and the Blue Demons in 2016-2017.
All right, thanks for having me.